Okay, welcome back to the Hands Tourney. So all the top 16 games have been completed and it's top 8 next. So here are the players who have made it. These are the first 4 are those that had a bye in the top 16. And then Radek, Korteos, Ilja and Bias won their games. So this is the situation. Alex to play Ilja, Denis to play Bias, Lucas against Korteos, and Argento against Radek. So which one to pick? I guess it's fair to watch the King of Swiss, Alex against Ilja. So the games have just started. So let's have a look at what the situation is. Sorry for the slow loading pictures. That's my connection. Doesn't get any better at home. So we have Ilja playing Night's Watch Battle of the Trident. Interesting. And very successful with it. I think I would need to check that, but I think Ilja is playing Battle of the Trident in the Nordic League this season and is very successful in that as well. So we'll see what this deck does. So taxation. Again, we saw that in the China versus Europe Championship a little bit with Martel, Battle of the Trident as well, playing this plot just because of the 5 gold, I guess. And we have the Maiden on the other side, so Alex playing a Greyjoy deck and starting very well with Balon and Euron, and Euron has his warship, and on the other side we have the intrigue icons including the Hob, and we have Cotter Pike, who is of course a commander and can trigger the agenda. And as you can see in the discard pile, fresh recruits, an event we don't see very often. You can grab characters with 3 different traits. And there are some synergies as well when you have characters with 3 different traits on the board. Okay, so Support of the People grabs Great Kraken, which can go in 2 ways. Of course, it can draw cards to prepare for a longer game, or it can gain power to try to win quickly. In this case, it gets a card. Ilja wins on defense, and that's all that Alex currently has. And here comes the stand for Euron. Had to be one, of course. No huge threat on defense because none of the characters are armies or commanders. That's the one you really need to worry about because you can do some tricks with that. For instance, Duel is a war plot, but yeah, you may as well trigger that in the plot phase. Why not? With Balon and Euron on the board and no Meister to play out with. So that might be coming if it's in the deck. And Night's Watch can survive without 6 or 7 costers. Great Ranging, of course, is an army, so it won't be affected by Duel. On the other hand, Jon Snow, 7 cost commander possibly, so. Okay, so going for the realm, for the gold. And we have first snow on the other side, which will really hurt here. Leaving Ilja with only the one character currently, so hopefully this is not going to be the wall, but something like great ranging instead, and a dupe for one of these two would help as well. Now, is there anything else big coming up here? So we have potentially something reduced by 4, which means anything basically can be played. Victarion maybe, or Asha. Oh, and Fealty as well, so reduced by 5. And it is Victarion with 2 nillable longships as well. So any hope of the wall doing anything is gone anyway. And here comes the Iron Throne. Not that useful this round, but will get annoying for sure in the future. Maybe next round calling Maester Aemon or something like that. And yeah, so there is some safety here with Battle of the Trident. You know that the Harris is not going to be played, so the 3 big characters will stay on the board. The only thing that gets rid of them is duel. And even that, at this point, now that there's 3 of them, you can leave either of these to knelt because they can stand. Okay, so it looks like these two have played before. And wasn't a good game for Ilja that time either, but okay. Here is the great ranging. And cancel for the search. Okay, search is not really something you are usually that worried about. And only 1 gold for underground vault. That's a bit harsh. And here comes some investment for the future. Okay, it's possible to come back against this first snow hit with the dupe for Aemon, nice. With an agenda trigger, but how are we going to do that is the question. We have a commander and we have an army, but we also have intimidate on the other side and no power icons, so Euron and Victarion can just go for that immediately. Let's see what Iron Throne calls here. Nightmares. This is quite sensible. It's possible for these characters to enter play with reinforcements, but intimidating both army and commander characters takes care of that anyway. Interesting that he cancelled the feast of the first man search, because Aemon saving from military claim is a thing you could potentially cancel. Maybe he has another one. Not bothering to defend this one. He could have in theory, but expecting raiding longship maybe. And Daemon tries to save himself. And there was another Fanatic. So good job that he at least had the loop for that. Currently still not too bad. Going for Intrigue next. So not going for the Intimidate because there isn't one. No, there isn't a Raider. So unless you have a Warship into Eager Deckhand, there is no Intimidate here. Keep forgetting that. That the redesigned version of course needs another Raider. So he's just tempting Ilja to kneel one of the characters, but they should be able to push a challenge through. Now what can you do with Intrigue, for instance? Edict. Lots of options for that, and War of course as well. And the Great Ranging does have Intimidate. So not letting Ilja go first at any point seems like the thing to do, although you still have the stand for both of these guys. No way to defend this, and here comes the Renown, and let's see what the Great Kraken is doing now. So he drew a card for the first one. For the Intrigue one, let's see what he did. Yeah, drew 2 cards. He's on 7 power, so could have gone for the power instead. But it's a sensible investment in case he needs to recover after a setback, and still there could be duel if Ilja was careful to not to use it too early. Now let's see what happens here. Gorald goes for the claim and maybe a reinforcements or something. Now going for Master the Realm. That's an edict that raises the claim value. However, you need to control an attacking army, and Kotor is not an army. So that's a bit weird. Is there a chance to put an army with a power icon into play? Yeah, no threat of Morgulis in this game, so happy to use the dupe. Doesn't even increase the reserve, so it's a bit unusual. And he did have it. Now Alex wins initiative, so he goes first. And what does he do here? So if 2 are on the board, it's a problem. If 1 is on the board, it will fizzle, but still losing 2 if you do that, so tough one. Okay, gets rid of Victarion and Euron, keeping Balon on the board, so they're now at least still alive. and he did draw a bunch of cards for the Kraken and 2 for this, so should be able to put something on the board. He has a bit of hand knowledge. He could go for the power icon, call... what was it? Was it the Shadow Tower Mason? Call Satin. I think blindly possibly here. And Victorian comes straight back. However, not as great as it was before. Now if claim is raised, it could be problematic. Martel can raise it with Behest. They can do a power challenge and then flip into desperate attack. But the other factions need to do it on the military challenge to go into the 3 claimers, so that happens after claim is applied. So that's not a threat with this deck, but you could still flip into a 2 claim plot possibly. Fresh recruit searches for dupes, I think mainly. He had one hop from earlier, went back to hand with first snow. And a dupe for great ranging. There is the power icon. Using the King's Road to reduce it. And there is the Fist of the First Man. I assume he plays 1 copy because the Great Ranging can find it. So what does it actually do? Cannot be bypassed by stealth. That stops Bale on stealth. He gets it from the Great Kraken. But yeah, it's impossible to oppose him on the power challenge anyway. And that's the one I think he will be doing. While your reserve value is higher. Night's Watch usually has no problems with that, but currently with duel against return to the fields, it's equal. And now, I think with 7 cards in hand, we'll see a change of strategy. So Great Kraken will be gaining power, I think. And Victorian can give himself renown. Balon can be opposed. Is there nightmares? No, so possibly a slight misplay here. Feast goes, not too bad, wasn't active anyway. And that's now 11. Power, no chance to strike back, but much more difficult to push the others through. Let's see. If he takes a risk and tries to defend this, then of course a raiding longship could be a problem from hand. And now what does Alex do? Does he stand Victorian or does he give him renown? Nothing in this challenge, I assume he hasn't spent the limit yet. So Great Kraken draws again. And that's why this guy defended, I guess. He's taken for claim. Now let's see if there are any tricks. Once again, easy to push the intrigue challenge through, and seems like military as well. But can you flip into a 2-claim plot with intrigue? I think you can. Euron gone for claim. Now let's see if anything is done here. Now the agenda not used, so going for military next. And there is claim soak. But also march to the wall, possibly in the deck. Which gets rid of Victorian next round. Or is there a reason? No. Pointy end. That's the one I always expect when I play against this, and it never comes, but yeah, Ilja has it, and that brings the power right down here. And now if this is followed by march to the wall, things are looking much better. So at one point Alex was up to 13 and could have used another ship to give Victorian renown, so close to victory, but not quite close enough. Okay, no marched, but had some spikes instead. And still Alex wins initiative easily, even with the base value here. And he has the modifiers as well. Heads hits Alanis, which is a great hit, to be honest, because she comes into play and draws as well. And some claim soak would be nice here for Alex. Set and named again, so Euron is still alive, and so is Asha. Here she comes. And again, it could be enough to dominate the power challenge. That's the one that really matters here, because power claim plus potentially unopposed would be 12, Great Kraken would be 13, Balon has renown, Victarion can gain renown, that's a win in one challenge. And it's difficult to oppose Balon because of his ability, of course. Ooh, okay. Now let's see. This is a passive effect that gives power icon to great ranging, which can, of course, oppose Balon. And now getting rid of Fist of the First Man is important because he can still stealth past it. Before he couldn't. And that makes a huge difference because unopposed, of course. And Kraken is a 2 power swing here. And unless I've miscalculated, I think Alex has enough to win here, so maybe a Nightmares or something. So let's see what the plot can do. I don't think it can do anything, probably just draw with the Iron Gate. Not worth putting this into play, probably. Yeah, so Balon and Victarion in the power challenge should win the game. Unless there is something in hand. Yeah, so close to taking control here for Ilja. Just near that march to the wall. Still wonder about that Master of the Realm play. Didn't seem to do much. If that was a march to the wall in the deck, would have been pretty good. But I think this is it. Yeah, but once again we see, even against all of this, how this agenda is pretty good. It's pretty good. It can do those little tricks in the challenges phase to equalize or take control of the game when it looks like the player is losing. And Martel is, we've seen that it's competitive. And Night's Watch looks pretty good as well. Definitely strong agenda. And since this one finished a little bit early, I think we can catch another game, possibly. Let's see what's still being played. We have Argento against Radek, and that's the only one, so let's have a look. Stark Fealty Mirror. And what's the situation? This time it's Argento on top in terms of power, and the board state is pretty equal. Except that Argento has Rob Stark here. Card in Shadows for both, and Car Hold in play. Okay, so just finishing around here. Let's see. Radek has used his Harris. And his duel. Which I'm guessing is what killed Eddard. And Argento's plots. A little bit different, not going for the winter theme here, so he has air to search for the bigger characters with sacrificing Recon and Bran and characters like that. And now he's playing with Skagos a little bit. using a summer to bring in the scout. Now Radek, does he have heads and spikes? I'm guessing not, I don't remember exactly, but no. Double Winter Festival. Both Miras going back. And now let's see who wins the top decking battle. With Skagos shenanigans, it's difficult to even get rid of Rob Stark with Mira. Let's see what the situation is here. Yeah, one in the discard pile. Scout finds a dupe. Now Caitlyn would be nice. Dicey. Pretty good as well. So Carholt is not going to stop anything. And yeah. Milk on Rob, okay. Skagos can get rid of that. Let's count the renown. So we have Mage and we have Dicey and possibly Rob if Milk gets removed. That would be 3 power for that and the claim and Winter Festival, which is all decent enough but not quite enough to close this round. But if you do the Rob trigger somehow with the double renown, of course, then it's a different story, but yeah, I imagine that won't be all that easy because there is Mira on the other side as well. And this one blanks Dicey, so gets rid of the renown and gets rid of the strength. And she can do the intrigue challenge currently unopposed, so that would force the other Mira to come back if Radek wants to oppose. And he doesn't. Now the other Mira could blank Dicey as well. Seems like a good target now that neither player has Winterfell. I wonder if these were used. I'm guessing probably the result would be a little bit different if they were. And Argento ends it here. Seems like he had plenty of strength to win the power challenge on attack. That's the one time he can gain renown on his characters. Okay, 12. And 1 for dominance, 2 for Winter Festival. So he is within reach now, but is there another winter plot? Maybe another... No, there isn't another festival because there are 2 heirs in the deck, so... Rob comes back. But Carhold does stop him. We have Fall Spring, which cannot do anything. And we have the Crown. Stops some characters from leaving play, the little ones on this side, and yeah, Mira and Daisy as well. Interesting, so Mira can't go back into shadows, which means she can't be reused. That's pretty good. The other one is still in shadows. And now it's Radek who has the winter plot, and Argento does not. I wonder. Played very conservatively the last round, so if he pushed that power challenge through, get to 14 or something, and then going first here puts pressure on. You can just do a big power challenge, try to win immediately. Maybe he wanted to see the last plot. He was worried that it's something annoying. Dupnaria and White Harbor. And this time maybe we do see Mira, let's see. Yeah, she can oppose this one and she blanks Rob, not Dicey. Of course, Skago's still available, so Rob basically can be triggered on demand. But now that he's blank, he cannot, and you cannot find him anymore with Skagos either, because both copies are in the discard pile. And still Argento passes. Yeah, he can't gain renown. $22 should be plenty. So I can just defend this one with 1. Well, I guess in theory, if you bring Skagos out and sack Dicey to find another copy that's not blanked, I think that was that 33 available on defense possibly, but yeah, doesn't have that much because of the no renown. Oh, and she cannot leave play because she has yeah, that's X is a printed strength, so printed yeah, printed strength, so that was never going to work. Argento wins dominance. Some spare gold to bring Skagos out. Political disaster. I think he has political disaster, Radek does not. And here comes the Winter Festival, so that's the one time he can win power. And this is the closer, I guess, now. Okay, Radek goes first, and let's see. Keeps Arya, Caitlyn, and the Steward. And Mira, so Mira going back to Shadows. Not actually keeping any of the renown he has. Okay, and Argento keeps Rob Stark. Difficult to follow everything because both players play Stark. So yeah, Radek doesn't keep any of his renown, but he didn't have any. He didn't have that much to begin with, and Karhold stops him as well. So Argento does keep Rob, and now we have Frozen Solid to deny that on-demand trigger. And let's see Radek going first. With not the best draw. Mira still available. And here comes the scout now. Is there another one of those ladies? There is Dicey. And she immediately needs the blanking because she is a big body with renown. And do we know what the other card is in Shadows? I'm not sure. So if it's the Claim Raise, Shadow of the North, he can, I guess, try to win the power on offense. Get it down to 10 before the counter. Should not be enough, really. I think this chat is basically just already a sign of concession. Blanking Dicey gets rid of some strength and renown, but even the event can still be cancelled with Bran. I think he may as well defend with Dicey because she's going to be blanked anyway. Defense with the reducer. Now let's see. Bran, yeah, cancels. Shadow of the North reducer stands for Rob. That's gonna bring the power down to 11. And now even just doing the military first to force Mira out. Yeah, she has to defend, she stops Daisy. That leaves 5 to defend the power. And that's not enough. And still leaves Argento enough to win dominance as well in case the power with renown wasn't enough, but it is anyway. Just going for the minimum. Yeah, and Daisy gets her text box back in dominance anyway, so Winter Festival will close the game. Nice battle. So mirror match, Stark Fealty, but not exactly the same deck, so we have more of a winter strategy on one side with 3 ices, nice, and the claim race, and we have the Skagos Rob and some more renown on the other side, and on this occasion Argento wins. Yeah, just a discussion. I did wonder what happened with those 3 ice in the discard pile. Obviously we did not see the start of the game because we watched the other one first, so killing Rob, yeah, would have probably made the game quite a bit different. Okay, so we'll be watching the semi-finals next, so hopefully you can join me on that one.